My name is Emily. My husband Ethan's first love had once abandoned him for the wealthy and powerful school bully. Years later, when his ex and her husband began contentious divorce proceedings, Ethan, who happened to be a lawyer, walked back into that woman's life. I chose to bow out when he went to her, realizing some people's self-destructive tendencies simply can't be stopped. Ethan filed for divorce 2 weeks after attending his high school reunion. What do you mean? I stared at him in disbelief. We'd been happily married for 3 years, having just told our parents about our plans to start a family. Dark circles shadowed his bloodshot eyes, his unshaven jawline twitching as he avoided my gaze. It's temporary, he said hoarsely. I can't abandon her now. Her. He didn't say the name, but we both knew. Sophia, the woman who'd shattered his heart years ago. Sophia's living alone after her marriage collapsed. Her husband refuses to settle the divorce amicably. His throat bobbed. Given our history, I'm the only one who can help her through this legal battle. When I finally spoke, my voice sounded foreign. You'll be her divorce attorney? At his nod, he rushed to add, her husband's influential. This case will get ugly. The divorce is to protect you. Once everything's over? Should I thank you for your consideration then? The bitter edge in my words made him flinch. I grabbed my coat from the chair. Let's proceed with the divorce. Where are you going? He stood abruptly as I moved toward the door. It's late. We're strangers now. My hand froze on the doorknob. Without turning, I asked the question burning through me. Remember how Jason's gang beat you half to death after Sophia dumped you? You swore to me then that you'd make anyone who abandoned you pay. The door clicked shut on Ethan's ashen face, swallowing my final whisper. Tell me, Ethan, are you really this altruistic? Or are you just punishing yourself for still wanting her? We'd practically grown up together. The scholarship student with movie star looks could have dated anyone. Yet teenage Ethan would toss love letters into trash bins, complaining how annoying romantic pursuits were. I hid my crush carefully after that, until Sophia happened. Sophia was danger incarnate, wearing lace camisoles under her uniform jacket when other girls sported braids. Her lips perpetually glossed like crushed rubies. She'd cornered Ethan between classes, whispering about fun risks, then kissed him senseless when he tried to walk away. Such a blusher. She'd laughed against his scarlet cheek. Let's date. I'd stood frozen across the hallway that day, clutching the lunchbox Ethan's mother asked me to deliver. The only protest I could muster was stealing the meat from his meal, not that he noticed. His entire world had narrowed to Sophia's neon-bright chaos. It took me 3 days to cry myself empty. 3 days to bury that first heartbreak. But fate can be cruel. They broke up soon after, with Sophia heartlessly dumping Ethan when she grew bored. She then fell for the new transfer student who ruled the school with his family's wealth and influence, the man who would become her husband. This arrogant trust fund kid could give her everything she desired. Ethan refused to let go. He kept pursuing her until the bully noticed. What followed was systematic school harassment. Fatherless and raised in poverty by a single mother who sometimes relied on my family's help. How could he compete with old money? I'll never forget graduation day. While others celebrated, I found Ethan barely conscious in a rain-soaked alley. His admission ticket shredded and face bloodied. He clung to me trembling. They tried to ruin me. He spat through bruised lips. I'll make them pay. When I tried comforting him, he locked eyes with me. Emily, you're all I have. I looked away, whispering I'll wait for you to retake the exams. I wouldn't be anyone's consolation prize. Emily doesn't settle. I kept my distance until he spent a year studying to enter my college, then courted me relentlessly for 3 years. Now I see what I almost lost, he said with heartbreaking sincerity, like Cinderella's prince finally noticing her. Our story seemed perfect. 7 years later, Ethan splurged on a designer outfit for our reunion. This is excessive. I laughed nervously. I want everyone to see my happy wife. He insisted. When work emergencies kept me from attending, he bombarded my phone. We're trying for a baby, quit that dead-end job. What will people think? That I can't provide? My reply came fast, Ethan. I'm not your trophy. Even with lower paychecks. My career mattered. His final text asked, job or marriage? I powered off. The midnight call came from classmates. Ethan was wasted at the restaurant. I found the 6 feet 2 inches man sobbing like a child. Wife, he slurred. Collapsing into me. As I struggled to lift him. He vomited down my blouse. That's when she appeared. His wallet. The voice stopped me cold. Neon lights illuminated Sophia's plunging neckline and crimson lips. So you're the wife. Her smirk could cut glass. Sophia. I forced a smile. Long time. How could I not feel awkward? I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the rearview mirror, pale. Exhausted face after a long workday. Without makeup. Hair messily tied back. Vomit stains still on my clothes. 7 years. Every time I saw Sophia, I felt like a loser. Thankfully, Ethan broke the silence. He seemed slightly more sober. Though not entirely. Resting his head on my shoulder while mumbling my name. Honey. Emily, he slurred. I shouldn't have called you during work. Don't be mad. Okay? My heart melted completely. I knew exactly what weighed on him. When I first chose to be with him, everyone opposed it because he was just a guy with nothing to his name. That's why Ethan had clawed his way up all these years, to prove I wasn't settling. He wanted me to quit my job. To dress elegantly for events. All to showcase his success. Those early years were brutal. We lived in a damp basement where rainwater dripped through cracks, collecting in red plastic basins. We'd embraced to the rhythmic plinking. Ethan's eyes bloodshot as he vowed repeatedly, Emily. I'll make you proud. He always acted guilty. But truthfully, those penniless days were my happiest. He cooked 3 meals daily. Picked me up from work in storms. Fought anyone who wronged me, gave his all. He wasn't perfect. But he was the boy who'd give me his last dime without keeping a penny for himself. Love conquers all. We believed. Now in this taxi. Him clinging to me murmuring honey. That conviction resurged. I lifted my head and gave Sophia a warm, genuine smile. Yes. We've been together 7 years. Happily. Sophia looked devastated. Relieved. I held Ethan's hand the entire ride home. Yet in the end, he still let me down. Completely. Divorce was inevitable. How ironic, I, the ever-compassionate one, would now help him save Sophia. Lawyers swarmed with endless asset division paperwork. We'd moved into this house with nothing. Built everything ourselves. Back then, we dreamed of the future. Now we sat listing possessions for separation. Ethan Chain smoked at the table. Later on the balcony, I scrolled through my phone. An old classmate had sent a video. Her voice uneasy, I debated sending this, but you should know. The footage showed our class reunion venue's emergency stairwell. 2 figures pressed intimately together. Sophia's honeyed voice asked, Did you ever think of me these years? Ethan looked tense. Hands gripping her shoulders. Who's better, me or Emily? I'm married. That boring woman suits you? Sophia rose boldly to kiss him. Ethan didn't pull away. When they broke apart, she nestled against him breathlessly. Once my divorce settles, we could, there's no we. Ethan cut her off coldly. I owe Emily loyalty. He turned to leave. Ethan. Sophia wept behind him. I've regretted losing you every single day. Don't pretend you never thought of me. He froze mid-step. For a long moment, the room echoed with Sophia's sobs. Suddenly, Ethan turned and strode toward her. His eyes bloodshot. He pinned her against the wall in a desperate kiss. When I re-entered the room nearly 15 minutes later, the attorney had already left. Only Ethan remained amidst the sterile emptiness. Why did that take so long? I asked coldly, watching him organize documents on the desk. These are the newly finalized asset division agreements. Without glancing at the papers, I stood firm in the center of the room. I demand revised terms. The house, cars, every shared asset, I won't leave you a single penny. Ethan froze. A bitter laugh escaped him. Emily, must you make this so ugly? 7 years together. Once this settles, we could still. So you remember it's been 7 years? I leaned over the desk, staring down at him. Don't disgust me further. Every second near you makes me physically ill. The very furniture surrounding us bore memories of our shared life, each piece chosen together during better days. Now they only served as grotesque reminders. I kept the surveillance footage to myself. Let Ethan wonder what cards I held. If he obstructed the asset division, my attorney would receive that damning video. Surprisingly, his infidelity caused no pain, only numbness. The moment he'd demanded divorce, whatever love remained had evaporated. 3 days after filing, Jason Miller's thugs smashed our windows. The heir to the Miller family's shady empire had apparently taken offense to Ethan meddling in Sophia's affairs. I awoke to shattering glass in the master bedroom, Ethan having been banished to the guest room during our Cold War over property rights. He burst through the door as debris flew, shielding me with his body. Blood streamed down his temple from a hurled brick. Stay in the bathroom, he ordered after the vandals fled, buttoning his shirt with trembling hands despite his head wound. Ethan. My voice cracked. Where are you going? He hesitated. Sophia, she needs me more right now. Left alone with gaping windows, I numbly dealt with the police. Hours later, Ethan returned with Sophia clinging to his arm, her makeup flawless. Smirk triumphant. Emily. He rushed toward me, dried blood crusting his cheek. My palm met his face with a resounding crack before he could finish speaking. He was caught off guard, stumbling backward as his wound reopened, fresh blood seeping through. I stared into his eyes, chest heaving, and spat through gritted teeth. You're nothing but trash. Ethan winced, lips parting soundlessly. Sophia swooped in behind him with theatrical tears. Emily. How could you hit someone? Ethan was just worried about me. You've got this all wrong. My other hand cracked across her face before she finished. The petite woman crumpled to the floor, cheek blooming crimson. Emily. Have you lost your mind? Ethan shouted, panic edging his voice. Maybe I have. I sneered. Mail the divorce papers. I'm sick to my stomach looking at you two cheaters. Still seething, I yanked Sophia up by her hair. What's so irresistible about stolen husbands? Huh? Getting off on homewrecking? She whimpered through distorted features. I just needed legal help. Oh please. I scoffed. Every lawyer in the city and you just had to contact your successful ex? We all see your little game. Shoving her away, I brushed my hands clean. Keep your trash. I'm done. Emily. Be reasonable. Ethan tried blocking my exit. My heel smashed into his kneecap, sending him doubling over. Move. I glared down at his hunched form. All of you, get lost. The divorce papers arrived days later. I signed without hesitation, mailing them back immediately. When the final decree came through, even the air smelled sweeter. I snapped a photo of the document and posted it in our alumni group chat, tagging both Sophia and Ethan. Freedom tastes divine. Congrats on your upgrade. Soph, hope you love each other's stench forever. #relationship goals. The chat exploded. Wait. Sophia's the mistress? Ethan cheated? Flooded the screen. Sophia spammed 60-second voice notes I couldn't bother opening. Under mounting pressure, Ethan finally typed, we parted amicably. I tapped the mic icon. Tell that to your mom. The chat went radio silent. My extended vacation began beautifully, off-season beaches, golden sunlight, no crowds. A young photographer from our tour group offered to shoot me collecting seashells. Like these? He showed the preview, a windswept woman in floral sundress laughing freely. Barefaced yet radiant. They're perfect. I breathed, startled by my own transformed reflection. His grin revealed a charming canine tooth. Trade you these for your number? Not happening. I chuckled. Plenty of scenery left. He winked, snapping more candids throughout our trip. I flooded social media with these liberated versions of myself, head thrown back in laughter, hair whipping against sunset hues. Meanwhile, Sophia's divorce hearing with Jason made headlines. Friends bombarded my phone after landing. Grainy court photos showed Jason looming over a haggard Sophia while Ethan played knight in cheap suit. Jason's been threatening Ethan's firm non-stop. The texts read, "Got him fired." Then offered shady deals. Total mess. I swiped left. That night, beneath my tropical sunset post, a new comment appeared from Ethan. He asked, "Who took these photos for you?" I didn't reply, none of his business. When I checked my phone after dinner, he deleted the question and left a new comment, "Hope you're having fun." Later I received his voice message, 30 seconds of wind noise followed by his drunken slur, "Babe." The house feels so empty now. I'm exhausted every day. No support. No recognition. Feels like I'm back where I started. I listened in silence before blocking him on social media. I could vividly picture Ethan in that shattered window apartment while I vacationed. After dividing the assets, I'd kept my promise, not even leaving him a rug. His career collapse must have reminded him of those post-graduation days when nobody believed some small-town kid could make it as a lawyer. Except me. I'd believed unconditionally. Made him hangover soup after client dinners that left him vomiting blood. Knocked on every door with him, bowing deeply to beg for opportunities. Spent half my salary celebrating his first court victory. So much effort. Now I know better, never raise a man from boyhood. His current downfall makes him nostalgic for my devotion. But that doesn't erase him abandoning me after succeeding. 7 years, complete loss. His wistfulness disgusts me. On my last travel day, the photographer Kevin finally got my contact. Turned out he's still a grad student, photography's just his hobby. His nervous "Do you have a boyfriend?" was adorable. But I patted his head. "You're too young, kid. Time will tell," Kevin retorted stubbornly. I shrugged. Ethan had taught me how fickle hearts can be, though he never learned that lesson himself. The drama unfolded as my plane landed. Sophia canceled her divorce. Here's the tea. She and Ethan got photographed leaving a bar together around the time he sent that drunken voice memo. Apparently they slept together. Mid-hookup, Ethan briefly sobered up to message me, but found himself blocked. Jason's people took the photos. Now Jason's granting the divorce but keeping every penny. Bet Ethan had some noble moment wanting to do right by Sophia, until she snapped, "No money? Then why did I hire you? You said you needed to escape abuse." What an idiot. You think I'd divorce without taking his fortune? Still as pathetic as ever. The delicate damsel act vanished, revealing her true goal all along, wealth redistribution. Ethan stood frozen until Sophia stormed out. "What was I to you?" he quavered. "A colossal idiot," I answered coldly. My friend cackled through the phone. Fools always covet what they can't have until they grasp its rotten core. Just like college when Sophia first played him. Some never learn. "Watch your back," my friend warned as I grabbed luggage. "He knows you're back today." I didn't catch the rest of what was said. Among the crowd waiting at arrivals, I spotted Ethan's face. He looked haggard. His suit wrinkled as if it hadn't been ironed in ages. His complexion pale and eyes dull. He insisted on driving me home. I slid into the back seat, watching him instinctively head toward our former address. "Don't get the address wrong," I stated flatly. Ethan hesitated before asking, "Where are you staying now?" I gave him the location of my pre-marriage apartment, not the fanciest neighborhood, but wholly mine. Purchased solely under my name. "Settling in okay?" he ventured. I bit back the urge to hurl my handbag at his face. Of course it was better without his toxic presence. When we arrived, I grabbed my purse ready to bolt. The door lock clicked stubbornly under my frantic pulls. "What's this about?" I demanded, forcing calm into my voice. "I can't adjust," Ethan rasped, bloodshot eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. "Emily, life without you, it's unbearable." I watched his performance with detached boredom. "And? Come home," he blurted. "Sophia deceived me. They sabotaged my career. Send thugs to harass me nightly. I'm up all night with insomnia. On the verge of a nervous breakdown." All I think about is you. You're the only one who ever truly supported me. The suffocating silence stretched until I finally spoke. When Sophia dumped you years ago, you chased me for 3 years until I relented. I stood by you through every financial crisis, every career setback. Then when you made it big, you chose her over me. Now that she's ruined you again, suddenly you want back in? My laugh sliced through the tension. Ethan, do I look like a charity case to you? His knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. We never stopped loving each other. Our divorce wasn't about. Save it. I swiped open my phone, shoving the damning video in his face, Ethan passionately kissing Sophia at our college reunion. You want to talk about love? Explain this. It wasn't me. He choked out. She came on to me. Just like always. Sophia's been poisoning my life since. I know. I cut him off. You're just bitter she outplayed you at her own game. As he reached for me, I recoiled. You're incapable of real love. Not me. Not Sophia, you'd sell your soul for an ego boost. You're just a self-centered, disloyal opportunist chasing cheap thrills to prop up your fragile ego, a pathetic worm. His entire body shook. 7 years. Emily. How can you just? 7 years exactly why I'm done. My hand found the door release. Thank Sophia for me. She showed me the bullet I dodged. The door slammed shut on his shattered reflection. I said slowly, word by word, let's not make this ending ugly. We were deeply in love during Ethan's most destitute days. But as he grew more successful, he became convinced this affection could never fade. He took everything for granted, believing no matter how horribly he treated me, I'd always forgive him, he could never lose me. So he strayed in our marriage. Whenever facing Sophia, those humiliating memories drove him to desperately prove he wasn't the same man. Feeding his fragile male ego, he justified cheating as some righteous quest, thinking he could both regain dignity before his first love Sophia while keeping me placated afterwards. Greedy bastard wanted to have his cake and eat it too. Since when does life give free passes? Ethan, I said, remember what you told me when pursuing me? Now I'm returning those words. You'll never know what you've lost. Ethan completely broke down that day, apologizing repeatedly. When I returned home, I saw his car remained parked until midnight through my balcony window. I didn't care whether his remorse was genuine. When I loved fiercely. When I stopped, I walked away clean. Every choice honors my truth. As for him, karma's a bitch. Ethan was still young enough to rebuild after losing his job. Tragically, Sophia's second betrayal and my departure broke him. He became obsessed with investigating Jason, no longer for Sophia, but pure spite. The Millers' shady business practices were infamous, with countless victims too intimidated to expose them. When the family pressured Ethan, thugs started chasing him. Financially, the divorce had already drained him. Jobless and desperate, he soon sold his car and house, nearing destitution. Sophia begged him to stop, fearing repercussions. Ethan pretended to agree. That year, during Jason and Sophia's wedding anniversary banquet filled with high society guests, their planned corporate promo video got replaced with security footage of Sophia kissing Ethan in a stairwell. Chaos erupted. Jason nearly beat Sophia to death publicly. Ethan got his arm broken in retaliation but kept pushing. By next year, he succeeded in jailing Jason for tax evasion and illegal profiteering, freezing all Miller assets. That day, he called me. Kevin answered. Never thought I'd end up with someone like him, younger, quieter, but steadily proving his love through actions, not empty promises. Our relationship grew naturally. Kevin recounted the call. The man sounded frantic, asking if you'd take him back now that he'd made everyone pay. When he heard my voice, he paused. I offered to have you call back, but there was sudden commotion. Friends later told me Sophia, stripped of everything, snapped. She stabbed Ethan with a kitchen knife. Did he die? I asked curiously. Survived, my friend said. But between Jason breaking his arm earlier, unemployment, And empty pockets. Rumor says he's hospitalized with no visitors. Kevin, listening beside me, whispered, "Want to see him?" Still young at heart with a carefree spirit. I chuckled and shook my head. Whatever Ethan does has nothing to do with me anymore. Once broken, it can't be fixed. No matter how much effort Ethan puts in now, it won't undo the pain he caused me. Besides, I've found someone far more important in my life now. I refuse to let one failed relationship destroy my capacity to love or hold me back from moving forward. My future's still wide open.